Hey, what's up, party people? Sleepy J at Half-Ass Gaming World Headquarters. And you see Ukraine 43 on the map. Um, Got the box right here. Second edition, Ukraine 43. Nobody hates this game. Everybody loves Ukraine 43. That's the second edition right there. And let's just talk about U43, Semenich game, part of the 40 series. Some people say it's the crown jewel of the series. I can't argue that. If somebody says that, I can't argue it. I'm an A44 guy, but I'm playing Ukraine 43 right now, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the third edition is on P500. It's made its number at GMT. I think they're up to like over 600. So they made their number. I don't know. Might come out next year. Who knows? I don't know if it's going to be a straight reboot or they might change some things. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is, and I don't even know what they're charging. It's probably next to nothing, like maybe $50 or whatever. But great game, worth every penny. You might, if you don't have it, you want to go out and get it. I know there was a change, like a lot of things are redone between the first and the second edition. Between second and third, I have no idea. But if you don't have it, you want to get it, and it probably doesn't run that much if you buy it off P500. But anyways, here's what I'm here to talk about. So I haven't done anything in a while, and I was trying to take some time to learn GTS, the Counter-Strike. Man, I had it set up for like a month, and I just couldn't get it. I thought I was doing it. I thought I was doing it right, and then I watched a video of somebody else was doing some turns and Counter-Strike, obviously a veteran of GTS, and it just looked like nothing that I was doing. Just what I was doing and what he was doing didn't even look like the same shit. So I put it aside, and I'm like, what do I want to go into? GTS? Do I want to get back into BCS? Try to do something with Inflection Point? And I'm not. And I'm like, I just signed up for Compass Games last week, so I definitely decided I was making a little overtime at work, and I decided, okay, monetarily, I could do this. I'm in Mass. It's Connecticut. It's not a big deal. So I decided, yeah, so I went ahead and paid for that. So I'm going to Compass Games, probably shoot some video over there next month. I haven't even hooked up with anybody to figure out what I'm going to play while I'm there. So I got less than a month to figure that out. But also, I want to do this video right here today because I'm in, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Jeffrey Lang. He does these ladders from time to time, and he's doing a 7-inch ladder right now. All the different games: France 40, A44, N44, Ukraine. So I actually signed up for 3, but I've only actually hooked up with one guy so far. Is we've worked out, how to get a game going of I'm in Ukraine, Normandy 44, and A44. So I wanted to give you guys a brief review of the first turn. This is like a tournament ladder game, and so we're actually playing one of the scenarios, a 7-turn scenario, Zhukov's Assault. Zhukov's Assault. It's not the campaign game. It's just a 17. It starts off like the campaign game, but it's only the first 7 turns, and basically the Russians have to get 8 victory points. And we've completed 1 turn towards that, and 6 more turns to go. And I just thought I'd share with you guys what has transpired in the first turn. And the second turn is going to be wild, but we'll talk all about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into I'm gonna go ahead and get into showing you what transpired in the first turn, or what the map looks like at the end of the first turn. That'd be more realistic of me to say. Let's go ahead and bring it up. If you guys can't hear anything or the screen looks screwed up or whatever, just send a message, because I'll send a comment. I'll check them. I'll be sure to check them out. All right, so let's start at the top. This is, again, this is at the end of one turn, the first turn. I'm the Germans, my opponent obviously the Russians. And let's look at the big picture. So this is at the end of Kursk, early August, 2 weeks after Kursk, I think, or 10 days or some shit like that. 1943, like early August, and the Russians are going over on the offensive after Kursk, and they've got all sorts of power. So let's start from the top. This is what, and let's talk about my opponent, the Russian turn. So he made several small advances all along the front at several different places. And it looks like a good strategy for him. And we'll talk about why that is. And so we're talking, this is the northern shoulder right outside Kursk. And I'm actually going to try to make this bigger so you guys have no problem seeing it. Bing. Let's go with that right there. We'll try that resolution. So yeah, that's all the way the northern shoulder of the map. So obviously he didn't do anything here. My 574 is shifted down 1 hex. And this blue right here, the blue striping and the red striping, those are fortified zones for the blues for the Germans, obviously the red for the Russians. And so he made a little incursion right here. Let me see if I can get my, how the hell you Alt S and then click? Yeah, right here. Got my little red circle going just north of Sumy. And keep in mind, he needs 8 victory points. Sumy yields 1 victory point. So he made an advance right here. And he was, again, I like that little red thing right there. So obviously he knocked this 254 out of the way. And the disruption, he did have a disruption, but that came off. So, and then down here, now he made a minor incursion here. This guy right here. How powerful is he? Let's actually look at this one up here. Very powerful. This one right here we were just talking about. This guy right here, very powerful. This is going to be a problem, by the way, going forward. 866, 866, 766, 566. He took a hit on that guy right here, 766. So he's got strong forces going on right there. And that's probably what's going to happen in turn 2. Now, this guy right here, not as powerful. Let's take a look at him. 353. 353, 353, not a big deal, not a big deal. And then over here, this unit also got into the German fortification, 363. So not overwhelming like those guys over by Sumy. And then these guys right here, not a big deal. The Russians did on their first turn, they kick off a turn. So when a turn starts, the Russians have their turn, and then the Germans follow up. So he lost 11 steps. 11 steps with his offensive all along the front. He lost 11 steps. It's not really that bad when you consider that every turn he's getting 4 steps of. That's just reinforcements. Okay, no, I stand corrected. That's his replacements. The big difference between reinforcements and replacements. So his replacements are 4 steps every turn. He lost 11 steps, and I'm going to take a quick look at what he's got coming up for Soviet campaign. Like, for instance, in turn 2, what does he get? Oh, he only gets one unit, 1353 in turn two. No, that's reinforcements. 1353 in turn three, and then turn four he gets three units, 2353s and an 866, and then turns five, six, and seven he's back down to one unit again. So again, replacements, reinforcements, two different things. The Germans, on the other hand, what do they get? German campaign. They get a little security unit turn one. I've already collected that. A 574 on turn two. And then on turn three, they get the best unit on the board for either party. Großdeutschland comes in at a whopping 15, 12, 7. And they also get the Tiger bonus. And then turn four, they get a Panzer Division and a 254. Then turn five, they get 677 unit, which is like a Panzer Grenadier. The German reinforcements are pretty nice too, but just just that every turn going forward, as far as I can see, for replacements, the Russians get 4 steps, the Germans get 2 steps going forward. Okay, so that gives you a little insight as to what's coming on. So let's move down the line here and continue on with what happened. Belograd, we maintained that. We kept that. We got a 254 in there. Might have lost this step. Down the line, Kharkov's not under any pressure right here. So I'm just showing you how the line looks. We'll go back into the strategy and everything upcoming for turn two. Right here, I backed this guy up out of here. I backed him up 1. And then the Soviets, I've got Zokbons going all the way down the line here. And then the Russians did take a Hex 5020 right above this guy and this guy. They did own 5020, but as you can see, there's a disrupted unit right here. I did make them retreat during my turn, which was the German half of turn, and then also a disrupted unit in here. So I only really attacked 2 hexes, and both units were disrupted and had to retreat. But again, this is what the line looks like, and we'll talk about what the Germans did. So a minor incursion in here, and the Izium Bend, they did attack out of there. I don't think they were successful, but the Germans are holding this line pretty nice. They're starting to build a fort right here. And then you see these two, we'll talk about these units. I just want to show you the front. So basically the Russians did make a little incursion in this area, Alt S here and Alt S there, but I think I'm going to be able to handle that no problem. So that's what the front looks like. Now, what did I do with my turn? Well, one of the things you do when you're starting off a campaign, it's recommended that the Germans move some. I'm gonna actually move out one. That the Germans move some of this armor. Some of this armor down south, move it up to the north. West of Kharkov, right? And I did that with 1 unit. I only did that in my half of turn 1. I moved Viking right here, Alt S. I gave them the extended movement, which is +3. Their normal movement is 7. I moved him up. So in effect, when I added the 3 points to his 7 points and then doubled for roads, he was able to move up like 20 hexes on a road. So he was way the hell down somewhere down here, probably somewhere by this town. And he moved up 20 hexes. Because we've got a problem up there. We're going to have a problem in turn 2, but that's what Viking did, and I think I might move either Totenkopf, or what's the other one down there? I'm going to, one of them's gonna take a replacement armor in turn 2, and that's Das Reich is right here. They need a step to be a fully loaded unit. Das Reich right there. Pull them out of the line, and then also Totenkopf right here. One of them's going to take a replacement. One of them's going to head north, because I feel that on this, in the southern half of this. And by the way, this is a big payday for the Russians. Like look at these points right here. One here, one here. 2 for Stalino. There's one here or one here. Now they only need 8 victory points, and there's 5 right in that little area. So like I built a fort right here, and I'm gonna do everything I can to keep this, keep them from getting this. And of course they're gonna want to break out over here in the Izium Bend, which is this area right here. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna keep some. I got plenty of armored forces over here to take care of them, and then all the way up to Kharkov. I feel like my defense is pretty solid right here. Here's where the problem is. So that's a review, sort of like turn 1. Now the Russians are going to kick off turn 2. And here's my problem. I feel like I'm pretty stout everywhere. But here's the problem. These guys right here, they're all set up to do big damage to the Germans. And this stack right here, this stack right here. So all the Russian player would have to do is move the stack right here and do a 2-hex attack on this 574 right here. And he could easily get that to 7-1 with bringing in air support, artillery support. He could easily get that attack on this unit to 7-1 easily. And you know what happens right there? After they blow him away, then you're talking about mobile assaults. All right, they could pull off a mobile assault. This is actually set up for to totally mobile assault me. So these guys are going to take a hit right here. And they could really do some damage. They could knock this guy for a loop, this 574. They could just put him, like, get him down there, I don't know, remnant status maybe. He's definitely going to take a hit. They could kill off this 254 probably in a mobile assault. So that's, let me put this guy back. So that's probably the biggest problem I have. Now I realize that, and I have Viking to move up there. Viking's going to move up and answer that threat, and then you have other armored units here, here, and I think under here there's that Tiger unit right there. So I think I have like 3 Panzer units that can move up there, or maybe, and then I have one over here. These units right in here aren't that intimidating. I'm not really sweating these guys right here. So I'm feeling that I can move 3 armored units to deal with that breakout that the Russians are about to do. And the rest of the front looks pretty solid. Yeah, luckily up here, there isn't that many places that offer victory points. He's going to get one for Sumy. I've already, he's going to get that. And then you have this 2313 Grebkovsky, whatever the hell that is. Poltava right here is worth 1. He needs 8. So the Russian assault is definitely going to come from up here. There's no doubt about it. And I've got 3 armored units that are going to move northwest to deal with that. Yeah. Definitely, and I'm gonna bring up like Das Reich or Totenkopf. So it looks pretty interesting. It could be a total friggin' disaster depending on how aggressive he is and how many forces that he can mount up there. I'm probably gonna do like a general pullback of these northern forces. Sumi's going to take, but I mean, I'm probably going to move out of Belgorod, whatever. I have to keep Kursk because that's worth 3. If you move Manstein, you see that Kharkov in itself, probably the most important hex on the board, is worth 3 points in itself. I feel that I'm strong enough to hold that to consolidate my forces between these two cities right here and put up a great defensive line. I do have to build some forts. I'm going to start building forts along a line with Kharkov. I got to hold that. That's 3 points. He only needs, what did I say, 8 victory points. German, and the great, let's talk about the great thing about this game. Ukraine 43, I love A44, all right. But if you want to talk about a game where both sides can kick the shit out of each other on any given turn, right? This is the one. This might be the crown jewel of the 40 series. This might be it. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey man, which Simonich game do you want to play?" I'll play anything. Let's play Ardennes 44. But this shit right here, I can understand why people love it. So again, I just wanted to chime in. You start with the campaign game, but this is called Zhukov's Assault. 7 turns. They need 8 victory points. This is what the front looks. Let's give it a quick look. We'll start from north to south. This is what the front looks after 1 turn. This is going to be the Russian breakout right here. They have successfully... Well, I have no armor up there. Okay, so they're going to put a beating on me this turn, but I do have 3 units headed in that direction. And then I'm going to consolidate my defenses around Kharkov. I have to hold Kharkov. The Russians really haven't done shit except for up here by Sumy. I mean, they have all sorts of forces, but I've held strong everywhere besides that one area. I'm going to transfer probably either Das Reich or Totenkopf up. And then I do get an armored, for turn 2, I do get an armored replacement. Okay, I do get an armored replacement. So either Totenkopf or Das Reich is going to be made full strength, and the other one is going to hit the road. And with the extended march or extended movement, they can get 20 steps on a road. So one of them will be up there quickly. All right, I'm John. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. This is like a tournament ladder game. I'll keep you guys abreast. It's a lot of fun, actually. I don't know how good my opponent is, but I can see that, I mean, he's got a breakthrough, and it's going to get ugly for me, but we'll see what happens. So he must have lots of skill in this game. So I'll see you guys next time. We'll do a report after turn 2. I'm John. Yeah, Brian. Hey, man. If you told me this was the best game in the series, I can't argue with you. Ukraine 43, definitely, you can't give it enough love. But anyways, I'm out of here after turn 2. I'll be back showing you what the front looks like. We'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Ciao. Bye-bye.